Hi everyone, I'm Celeste. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to go over the books that I've read for the month of January. So these are my January reads. And I read 10 books in the month of January. 4 of those were audiobooks on Audible, and the rest of them were either physical books, and there was one book on my Kindle. So I'm not going to go in the order that I read them because that I just don't want to. So I will go over the Kindle book and then the audiobooks and then the actual books. So the first book that I want to go over is called Kissing the Ooh, you see it? It's called Kissing the Enemy, and it's by Leanne Dobbs and Harmony Williams. And I started this book a little bit before New Year's Eve because I had wanted to get one more book in for the 2016 year, and I didn't finish it. And I count books when I finish them, not when I'm reading them or whatever. It's about when I finish them. So, that being said, I count that one as a Kindle book that I read for January. And it was like you saw on the cover, like it's got a pretty girl and it's kissing the enemy. It's like a trashy romance book, and it was like a trashy romance book. I didn't give it a very high rating. It wasn't great. The dialogue was weird and clunky, and also they used phrases and cliches and things that weren't contemporary to the time, and it was just troublesome to me. And another thing is that the authenticity of their language was taken out, in the sense that they, instead of saying like, oh God or oh Lord, they would say some other substituted word, and I just found that to be clunky and weird. So, I don't know. If you're into a trashy romance. Then, for the audiobooks, the first one that I finished was Samantha Bee, I Know I Am, But What Are You? And I enjoy listening to celebrities read like memoirs with funny, because it's like they're telling me stories. So it's almost like not really reading or whatever. And so I listened to that on the way back from Disney World, and I finished it technically in January, was like January 3rd. Another one that I listened to on the way to and from, like I listened to this mostly in the month of December, but again I finished it in January on the, like I think on the way back, it was like the home stretch of the way back from Disney, was Bernie Sanders' Our Revolution. And it was really long, so it took me a while to listen to it. And again, he and Mark Ruffalo narrated it, and I just thought it was really interesting. I mean, there were some parts where it's just facts and political ideas, and it's not, but for the most part it was engaging. And I appreciated in the audio recording that when there was a speech, they would play the recording of Bernie Sanders giving the speech, which I thought made it really authentic and great. It's like listening to like actual history. Then the next one that I listened to was Trevor Noah's Born a Crime, and that one I picked up because lots of people had recommended it, and had recommended it specifically for the audiobook, so that's why I got that. And I loved it. It was great. He's funny. He has such a fluid style that it was just great. And I've been recommending it. I've been thinking about the things that he said, because he talked about like the political landscape and apartheid, and how you can't just fix things immediately, and race, and just relationships in general, and growing up, and it was just, there was something for every occasion, I think. And the last one that I listened to on Audible for the month of January is Carrie Fisher's Wishful Drinking, and this was the book club pick for the book club that I'm in, the actual physical, like real life book club where I meet with actual people in a coffee house. And so that was our pick. Again, Carrie Fisher was narrating it herself, so I thought, great, I love it. I want to, hear her narrate her own book. And so I listened to it on Audible. Again, celebrities telling stories. She has a really great style, and it just, it was enjoyable to me. Like, those are the kinds of audiobooks that I really enjoy, and so, like, I liked all of them, and so right now I'm actually listening to another one, so I'll have to talk about that in my next video. Okay, so as far as my resolutions goes, one was to read the book club pick for the month, done with the Carrie Fisher book. The other one was to listen to at least one audiobook a month. Well, I listened to 4, so done. So kind of doing okay with that. Okay, so the physical books. One physical book, and I'm not going in any particular order, it's just the order that they are in my stack. Okay, this is Ghost. Can you see? Ghost by Raina Telgemeier. And it is a kids graphic. You see it? A kids graphic novel. It was on my daughter's shelf. I found it and I thought, oh, I'll give this a try. It was okay. It wasn't her best. I liked drama a lot better. There might be some cultural appropriation issues, and I'm not really sure because it's not truly my culture, so I don't know what to say about that. So I'm interested in hearing what other people have to say. So if you've read this book and you have something to say about it, I'm interested in the conversation because I don't know what to think, and so these issues. Another one that I read is Point Your Face at This, drawings by Demetri Martin, and this was like a quick weekend read to kind of distract myself, and it was very quick because it's a lot of drawings, and there's some words in there, but mostly it's sort of like reading the images, which I find to be like a very good way of working out your mind in a way that we don't normally read. And so it was funny, it was great, and there were some pictures that I think are like so good. Like I was like, I need to show these to somebody. Like I need to talk about these books with somebody. And so I enjoy his stand-up, so I figured that was a safe, funny thing, lift my spirits, because there's a couple times this month where I really needed to lift my spirits. And the next one that I have is Burned by Ellen Hopkins. This is the first Ellen Hopkins book I've ever read. It's written in verse, and it's YA, so it deals with a lot of like young adult issues. I didn't really like it that much. I felt like there were parts of it that were really good and really authentic, and then there were parts of it that were just cheesy and kind of over the top and melodramatic, and it was okay. I mean, I was interested in it, and I saw where it was going, but I don't know how I feel about some of the ways that it got there. So I don't know, but I have a couple of other Ellen Hopkins books, so I'm not going to give up on her yet. The biggest book that I've read this month is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. I'm a big fan of Rainbow Rowell. In fact, this isn't the signed copy, but I have another copy of this that I took to NerdCon Stories in 2015 and had her sign. So, like, I got the book in the mail, and then I took it to Minneapolis with me. And I enjoyed it. I enjoy her characterization. I enjoy her stories. And it just, the voices, like, she has a way with characters, and I really enjoyed it. So, yeah, I know some people didn't, but what can I say? I'm a fan. I'm a fan of her writing style. And then the last one I wanted to talk about today is Drag Teen by Jeffrey Self. And I read this one because it was recommended by Peter Mon at Peter Likes Books. And I love drag queens. I love diversity, and so some of what I say some of what I'm reading, a lot of what I was reading this month I had the idea of like diversity. I wanted to keep it in mind. I wanted to read things that were not like my life story. So this fits in that category, and it was okay. It was good. It wasn't fine literature. It needed I don't know, something. It was a little clunky. It was a little amateurish, but like it had a lot of like sweetness to it, and I enjoyed the parts where the older like mentor type figures were speaking to the protagonist, and those were my favorite parts of that one. So I'm glad that I read it. So that covers the 10 books that I read in the month of January. I have other ones that I'm reading, and I have a TBR that I'm going to film pretty soon, so we'll be looking out for that. So far, I've got a good start to 2017, so I'm really excited about that. So, thank you for watching, and I would love to talk about what you've read this month and how your reading month is going. If you have any suggestions for like what I should read next, please let me know, and thanks for watching my video. Bye!